Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for joining us on this adventure. We just recently bought a house. Yesterday we signed the closing documents. We're just gonna do a quick walkthrough of the property before we do anything to it. So this is the rough state. It was a estate sale through probate, so everything is a little rough. Know that going in, but it has a really good layout, and we're just gonna kind of cruise through the rooms and see what's wrong, lay out what we want to do, and then we'll see if we can actually do it. So right here behind me, you're gonna see this is the living space. It's got slightly vaulted ceilings. We're gonna leave the fireplace for now because that's the least of our problems, as you'll see later on. But obviously carpet's gotta go, wall color's gonna change. This is actually a sponge paint with wallpaper, so we're just gonna remove that. Probably white box the whole thing, which just means paint everything white. We're gonna get rid of the trim, replace that, go through, update all the electrical receptacles, and maybe do the ceiling fans in here if our budget permits. But then after that, we'll just go this way and I'll show you the rest of the house. In the master, we can see that this is a little rough. It's got lower ceilings, so I don't know if we're gonna keep the ceiling fan or not. It's got a texture ceiling that we may or may not keep. And then the floors are in rough shape. These are wood. I don't know if they're laminate, but we're probably gonna get rid of the wood flooring here, and also the tile that leads into the master, and then also to the private deck. Now this deck is also in very rough shape. It's going to be one of the first things to go, and you'll see that during the demo process. But if you sneak in here and look at the master, we will see the hard water stains. They do have a softener system in place now that will remedy that issue after we remodel. So let's go into the next bathroom. This one is equally as rough. And as you can see with the state of the shower, it's just completely in disarray. The toilet is running constantly, so the water's off to that. So we'll replace that. We'll update all the plumbing when we get into the basement. Right now it has some retrofit stuff that isn't up to code, and it's not how I would do anybody's house, let alone my own. So as you look in here, you can see that it's builder's grade quality. The tile is a little bit dated with pink, so that'll all be torn out, and the vanity is just builder's grade as well. So we do have another smaller bedroom back here. This one is actually in pretty good shape all around. You know, the flooring is in good shape. We may refinish all the floors throughout the house. This is some newer hardwood, but we'll probably just get everything done at the same time to match, as well as updating the light fixture and updating the master, this is not the master, but this closet to just make it a little bit more user-friendly rather than the system they have in there now. So then as we come out of the bedrooms, we're gonna walk into what is dining space. Gonna update the lighting, not my favorite, and continue to paint in through here. We're probably gonna rip up the carpet and do probably more of like a natural stone tile throughout the entryway into the foyer and into this living space. Create a little drop zone right here with some built-in cabinets. Just make the space a little bit more functional than it is currently. And then also maybe set this up for more of a second office. Over here we have a large pantry. And as we open up in here, this also goes to the attic. Thinking about opening up this space and doing a first floor laundry setup. You'll see that the bones of the kitchen are really nice. It's quite big and spacious. It's got an island. And we'll keep most of this as is, clean it up, definitely with what it is, what's happening right now. Maybe add some soft close hinges, soft close drawers, and some hardware, because right now it has no door pulls or anything to speak of. Great little coffee bar here, and then once time and budget permits, we'll come in here and update everything. We are considering doing the floors before we move in, just to make things easier overall as we renovate the entire property. And as you can see, we have fluorescent lighting in here that'll be swapped out, and eventually we'll get rid of the soffits, get some different cabinets, but it's just not priority right now. Over here we do have deck off the dining area. That's a little kitchenette space. This did need to be walled off temporarily, as we will need to resurface the deck, just make sure everything is safe and sound structurally. Over here we walk into a half bath that will be pretty much the first thing that we do, so we can get this knocked out and have a functional bathroom as we do the other 2 full baths that you saw at the beginning of the video. But as you walk in here, this spacious room is more of a 2 rooms that were converted into 1. This section where I'm standing right now had a wall, 2 closets for each room. So as you can see, there's 2 doors. We will keep this as 1 larger space in the beginning, and where you are now is where the office will be. And on this side, we will have our nursery with probably a partition wall, temporary partition wall with a room divider splitting this room right down the middle. As you can see, they spliced in the floor, so this will need to be refinished along with the rest of the house. We'll cost that out and see if it's doable here in the beginning. After we paint, get the doors all situated, and so on and so forth. So we're gonna go downstairs. This is one of the more interesting areas of the home. Prior owner was a train enthusiast, so there is a setup of model trains that you will see as we head on down. Now, a lot of this space has been made into a hobby room. This basement is as full, or is as big as upstairs with 2,400 square feet. And then as we go through, I'll show you some of the back rooms. These ones are going to be probably completely gutted. There have been instances of prior damage from water intrusions and leaks from old pipe and from the boiler that have been repaired. I just want to be able to examine the underside of the entire upstairs, make sure that everything is up to code, up to what I'm comfortable with, and then also to remove any dust debris, any lingering mold spots if there are any, and just kind of go through and just have an easier time as we do renovations upstairs. We'll have full access from below. So let's go back to some of those other rooms. So mind your step as we go through here. There's a lot of extra stuff that's going to be part of demo day. There's just a lot of garbage on the floors, on the shelves, miscellaneous stuff. We'll donate as much as we can. There's some clothing that we probably want to get rid of, and just some cleaners that we're going to have to appropriately dispose of. But down here, there's a couple different rooms that do need attention. Up here, for example, there was a pipe that had a pinhole leak in the boiler that caused some of the tiling to stain and cave in. So we had that replaced before we move in. All of the paneling, all the drop seal, or all the tile on the ceiling. So back here we have pretty large old school water heater. Everything is working with this. Got it inspected, everything is fine. Also, this boiler, which was installed in '98, everything is functioning properly with this. It does have 3 zones, so with that we can control the bedroom separate from the living space, separate from the basement. I've been here throughout the dead of winter, and it has always been a very comfortable temperature, and the thermostats are set at something like around 60. So this thing works great, and we will see if any of the lines need replacing. There's some obvious damages throughout the basement that we'll have to fix just from corrosion, but we will check that out in a little bit more detail later. I'm standing in the basement bathroom right now, and this bathroom is probably going to be 100% gutted and just capped off at the beginning. There is some sort of drain issue that we will snake out at some point, as this is one limb of our plumbing. But this area, the sink has an S-trap underneath it, which gurgles every time the toilet flushes. I just don't want to operate this at all. I would much rather tear it out completely and revisit it at a later date. Just while we have the dumpster here, it's going to be way easier. Unfortunately, I won't be able to take you into this room. It's a little bit crowded. We do have just lots of clothes back here. Back there we have our softener system, and that was actually the old wellhead was located inside the house. So it is a little stubby part of the house that you will see a little bit later with the roof line very low to the ground, which I learned during inspection. The well used to be inside the house. So back here we see a little bit of a bonus room where there's a little bit of a workshop, hobby room, crafting all of the train accessories that we saw at the beginning of the basement section of this tour. So as you can see, the garage is also in rough shape, but luckily it is nice and spacious, so we'll probably put a whole bunch of the donated goods in here to kind of store and pack up as we go through and empty the basement of all of the miscellaneous stuff. So we're here on the exterior of the house. Exterior is in mostly good shape. Roof is fine, apart from one minor leak that we will fix probably first thing. There's some minor upkeep things as far as like emptying the gutters, getting some of the errant trees just kind of off of the property, and then just cleaning up some of the branches that are laying around. So we'll show you some of the exterior of the house right now. We'll address this a little bit later. We just wanted to get you something right away so that you can kind of see what we're dealing with.